Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Windsor Academy. My name is James, and together with my wife, Solemnis, we lead the Bad Omen community here on European Ragnarok Online. Now, this will be the Monk Guide, or Monk Academy, whatever you want to call it. We'll be diving into the Monk class, and I'll show you the ins and the outs, and I'll teach you some stuff. Now, I'm by no means an expert, but I've been doing some research and looking up some stuff, and hopefully I should be able to sort it out. So let's see what we can do with this. Now, having said that, let's just go right into it. So, this is the Monk. Now, what is the Monk? It's a spiritual warrior. It's sort of like an acolyte meets Kung Fu master, I guess? I don't know. It's like a built onto from Battle Acolyte. Now, looking at the gear and the stats to begin with, the Monk, to my knowledge, can be played in just like 2 or 3 ways. The most common one being a auto-attacking combo Monk. Now, for this I've placed all the skills on my bar, and we'll be going through them, but first let's look at equipment. Now, obviously, being an agility class, we want stuff with strength for attack damage, agility for attack speed and dodge. Now you want quite a bit of agility because we don't have a natural flee. Unlike, for example, the thief classes, they have the flee. Now, there is one, but it's very weak in comparison. So we kind of have to make it up by having a bit more agility. Right now I've just put some random gear on. I got some perfect dodge gear. I got this one for some attack speed. Just a lucky glitter and jacket. We're not using anything super pricey, okay? It's not like we're gonna pack it with gold likes and MVP cards, because that's not necessary to level. We're level 82 right now, because it's the level I needed to reach in order to get all the skills. Or 48 job, actually. You can wear a shield. Highly recommended a Valk shield. They're very affordable and an all-around amazing shield. However, you do get attack speed penalty. Let's see, we're 175. If we take off our shield, we're 180. While you're leveling, honestly, I would say go without a shield, because the damage reduction at low level is just not worth it. So we're gonna be playing without one. For shoes, you can't wear boots, but we can wear regular shoes. And for this, I've chosen an explosion card, more from dragon monsters, because, well, they're great to level with and they're very cheap, and they help, they really do. Now, clip-wise, we have a yo-yo. This is the new clip of Renewal, by the way, all stat +1. You can buy these for like a couple of 100k off other people, or hell, you can just ask me and I'll give you a few. All stats +1, MDef +3 with a slot, and I chose to go with yo-yo card. You should have 2 of these. It's really good. It's 10 perfect dodge, 2 agility, and then 1 plus all stat. You can't go wrong, really. Level 60 requirement, easy peasy. Now right now I'm using a coward's clip because I was actually testing something, but never mind, let's just take that off. Bravery bag would be an optimal Mantu. A little bit pricey. Otherwise, I would suggest finding cheap, maybe giant god skins on the market with agility, strength, that sort of thing. Maybe some vitality is good too. Int is nice as well. We have a very... we'll get to that. But so that covers the gear mostly. Middle headgears, a regular BDM if you can afford it. Otherwise, I don't know, some cute sunglasses or elven ears or whatever you want. Weapon wise, we use claw, right? These are monk exclusive. I chose to go with this one because, well, I had it laying around. Now, you can use maces as well, and I will show what this looks like. Now, maces have a naturally higher modifier, so if we equip a Morning Star, you can see we get less attack speed, but we get higher damage, right? Well, actually no, because mine is +6, and this is just a Morning Star, but on average, a mace will have higher attack damage than a claw. But this one, of course, because I picked one that is, well, I'm not really sure where the hell I found it. Maybe on Hati himself, I don't know. But my point is, if you want higher and slower attacks, go with a mace. If you want faster and lower attacks, go with a claw. Because the attack speed, as you can see, we dropped down to 179 wearing a Morning Star. So, for this video, I'll be using the Hati claw and just show you the skills and all that. Stats wise, as you can see, we're getting a bit, there's a bit of spreads here, but we need strength because our base attacks are fairly low. Agility, tons and tons of agility for dodging, for attack speed. No more than 90 though, if you're optimizing for a bravery bag, and even without, I would say 89 to 90 is more than enough. Vitality, maybe 10, 15, 20, like, I would say maybe around 15 is good. You need a bit more extra health to compensate. Intelligence, I've opted to go with 7+3, you could bump this up to maybe like 10, we'll go 9+3. Because we do use SP for everything, but it's not that much, you see 13, but our SP pool is not the highest, but if you have like variants, which are very cheap, or you could use some blue pots, you know, it all depends really. But for combo monk, I'll probably say maybe go even as high as 15, 20 int. Dex, you need tons and tons of dex, because everything you have is hit required. So, yeah, dex for hit, definitely. Now, it also gives you some cast time reduction. Sorry, I just almost tipped over because I have a broken chair at the moment. Right, so, going through the skills. Now, this is what the monk tree looks like. As you can see, there's quite a few passives, and it's quite vast. Now, you will not be able to max out everything in this tree. As you can see, at job level 48, I've barely reached snap. So, from left to right, you have Iron Fist. Pretty self-explanatory. By the way, they're called knuckle class weapons, not claw. That's my mistake. Knuckles. We use knuckles or maces. It adds some damage. Honestly, I would leave this at 5, because it's not a great modifier. Summon Spirit Sphere. Now, this one is a little bit different, because it's a buff that you put around yourself, so you look pretty cool. So hang on, let me show what it looks like. We have it here. You have to press this 5 times, at least up till later. So every time you press it, you get one of these little sphere thingies swirling around you, right? Now each of these adds 2 attack damage, and they are needed to fuel all of your attacks and all your buffs, and this is like the bread and butter skill of your entire tree, okay? Put this somewhere and hammer that. Like, it's just, you need it for everything, literally for everything. This one definitely maxed. Right, moving on. Flee. This is the skill I was talking about before. Now, thieves have something similar to this, except that theirs is twice as good. At level 10, at level 10 they get 30 flee, which is pretty neat. I'm so sorry about this chat. There we go. Right. So we only get 15, which is why I wouldn't even max it, depending on where you want to go in the tree, but I wouldn't. Now, so, you know, personal preference on that one, I leave it at 5, because the extra 7 flee, I mean, you need, as you can see here, you need these at 5 to get to Raging Trifecta below, and honestly that's where I would leave them, because you don't have the points to invest going 10 on all of, well, these 2 even. That should be at 5 at least, maxed. Now, this one, there's a lot of controversy about it, because this is also one of your bread and butter skills. It's a passive. When you attack, it has a chance to proc a triple attack. And when you use a triple attack, you can use one of your follow-up combo skills. So obviously we want this to proc to be able to use the rest of our skills. But, as you can see on the skill, at level 1 you proc it 29% for 120%, right? At level 5, 25% at 200%. And at level 10, 20% chance for 300% attack damage. Now, comparing the two, we lose 9% proc chance in order to get 180% more damage. So, we lose almost 1/3 of the entire proc chance, and we just about double the damage. Honestly, I leave it at 5. I might sound like a broken record, but 25% chance to deal 200% attack damage. It's a prereq, and it's also very easy to find. I mean, the thing is, if you leave it at 1, you will be proccing so much that you'll have a hard time keeping up, and they'll be wasted. And if you put it to 10, you'll hit very hard, but you're not gonna do very often. So I find level 5 to be more than sufficient. Now, going to the next one here, Spiritual Sphere Absorption. This is a PvP skill, mostly. But the thing is, if you use it on a monster, you can get SP back. I rarely use it, it's not worth the time, honestly. You will have to get level 1 into it though for prereq, so I mean, you're gonna have to get it anyway, but use-wise, I really wouldn't. I never see much use for it, I really don't. This one is interesting though. Occult Impaction. Now, the way that this works is that you basically attack an enemy with a Spirit Sphere, and the higher defense they have... Sorry about that, my phone is having issues. The higher defense the monster has, the more damage this will deal, also dependent on your level. I leave this at 3 because I don't really use it. There are builds that center around it if you want to play that, but for a combo monk I wouldn't. It was a thing back in the day that you could level up certain mobs that had insanely high defense. As you can see, each cast requires 1 Spirit Sphere, so then you would basically only go for mobs with high defense, and you would have a very high int and strength and no agility at all, I would say. So yeah, that's a build, basically, a Occult Impaction build. But the monsters these days, at least the ones with level on, their defense is so low, I wouldn't. It just doesn't... I just don't see it to be worth it. Sorry. Right. I just saw that I didn't have my thing on, so we couldn't actually see what I was listening to. That's my mistake. Now, the next one, this is called Root. Now, what this basically does is immobilizes both the caster and the enemy until either one of them dies. The interesting part about this is that the more you level it, at level 1, none of you can move for 20 seconds, right? At level 2, you can use Throw Spirit Sphere, which is another skill that we have. While you guys are doing this, at level 3, you can do Occult Impaction. Level 4, you can use a combo skill on them, and at level 5, you can use your ultimate called Guillotine Fist. But you must be in Fury status and have at least 4 Spirit Spheres to use G-Fist, Guillotine Fist. It definitely has its uses. I would say mostly it's a PvP thing. You obviously cannot do it against MVPs or bosses. I'm sad to inform you. Now, Raging Quadruple Blow, this is another one of your leveling skills. What happens is that when you auto-attack, this will trigger. When this triggered, you can use Raging Quadruple Blow. So it's a combo, depending on the level. So if you auto-attack, for example, and you use a Raging Trifecta Blow triggers, you'll do 200%. And then if you have this at max, you'll do another 400% instantly, if you click it at the right time. So it's like a combo thing. It can actually turn into quite a bit of damage. And, well, as it said, I know I was going to do left to right, but this is relevant, so I'm just going to go one step further down as well. Raging Thrust is another combo skill. It's the 3rd combo skill, right? And you can use that after Raging Quadruple Blow, and it does another 400%, right? So what you could do, theoretically, if you're auto-attacking a monster and you get Trifecta Blow, it looks like, you know, when you double attack for thieves, but with a higher number. And when you get that, you'll press Raging Quadruple Blow for 400% more damage, and then instantly follow up with another 400% with Raging Thrust. Okay, so it's kind of like you do this whole, say that you have them bound to 2 and 3, so that procs and then you go 2, 3. So yeah, that's like the way to kill things, basically. Right, so I just wanted to note that these 3, they kind of belong together. So if you go in combo, you should probably max these 2, I believe. You will have the points for it. Well, depending on what else you want to get, I suppose, but if you want all the way down to Snap, you can't max it. Anyways, so going to Fury. Now, this is an interesting skill, because this is a buff. Temporarily increases the caster's critical attack rate for 3 minutes. During Fury status, normal restoration of SP is disabled, and each time you cast it, it requires 5 Spirit Spheres. Now, the way that this looks, you see I have 5 spheres around me right now. And look at my crit, I have 3. And then, where the hell did I put it? There, Fury. And then they do like this sort of thing, and then... Now you can cast the Spirit Spheres again afterwards. Now, certain skills requires you to be in this status to use them. Actually, a lot of them do. So that's Fury. Depending on if you're an auto-attacker or not, I'm not sure I would put this above 3, honestly. Again, depending on if you want to go all the way down into the build or not. You obviously wouldn't have all of these. Like, for example, as you can see, Guillotine Fist needs all of these. But if you skip Guillotine Fist, then you can max out the other ones. Now, here's the other skill we're talking about, Throw Spirit Sphere. You basically turn yourself into a ranged attack, sort of thing. You throw one of your spirit spheres at an enemy dealing damage, depending on how many spears you're firing. As you can see, 200%, 5 spirit spheres. And then you would have to like recast the spirit sphere skill to do it again. I guess if you had like instacast, you could. It basically turns into like a. Imagine if you're hitting something 5 times and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you cast again, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So it's like it turns into a minigun sort of thing. It's kind of cool. But again, that would require a different build. I guess like the spirit build would be occult impactation and spirit spheres, bro. So that's definitely something that we could look into. But again, they would be basically, if you want to go that route, then I would definitely just go with strength, dex, and int. I would just skip out agility completely because you will have no use for it. You will be like a spellcaster. So if you're interested in that, just go spirit sphere, occult, and throw spirit sphere. And then you can level with that if you like. But then you won't be able to auto attack. Well, I mean you can, but you won't really do much with it. The next one is spiritual cadence. This is basically a way to improve your recovery while sitting. It does actually help even if you're over 50%, but it's not much. As you can see, I'm not sure the scalings on this because I don't have access to the server's official. Like, I can't look up the script in the database because obviously that's for GMs only. Honestly, I would leave this at whatever like level I need to get to the next one because it's just not that amazing. So I would definitely just, leave it where it is, I guess. Now, Guillotine Fist. Now this is a juicy one. Now, this is basically like your ultimate, like, screw you skill, okay? Each cast requires 5 spirit spheres. It takes forever to cast. And you need to be in Fury status like we are now and have 5 spirit spheres. But as you can see at level 5, plus 1000 attack damage. It also drains your entire SP, consuming the caster's remaining SP. And it also does more damage depending on your maximum and current SP. So basically, again, you would max out intelligence and strength in order to do it, but I would not level with this. Maybe if you're killing, like if you wanna, like you could get it and then you could use it to kill like deviling or angeling while you're leveling, or stuff like that. Or hell, even like a bigger boss or something. But overall, it's not a leveling skill at all. The second class we're gonna talk about is mental strength. Now this is the coolest spell I've honestly that you can get so early on. What this basically does, it turns you into a walking brick wall. Now each level grants you 30 seconds extra duration. And let's say that even if you only have it at level 4, right? That's 2 minutes where you take 90% less damage from everything. Okay? 90% flat, 90% like you turn into a wall. Now you can't really do anything, but you can tank things. You can still auto attack, slower, but you can. So if you're playing with some friends, I guess you could tank the monsters, and then your friend could be ranged, because the way that aggro works in this game is that if I'm attacking something, while I'm attacking it as a melee, even if a ranged is attacking it as well, it won't matter because the monster will still focus on me. So this is great for tanking MVPs, for example, or bigger bosses, or even if you, for example, you could gather up tons of monsters, have them hit you while your friend is loading a big AoE spell, like Storm Gust, or Lord of a Million, or whatever you guys wanna. Definitely a really cool spell. You can get it fairly early, I guess, if you don't go into these spells here. Now, usually you wouldn't get both of these. Like, for leveling, you wouldn't get Guillotine Fist, and for mental strength. It's kind of like, it's good for parties or group play, but for solo play, it's just not that great. Now, the last one, this is my favorite spell, okay? I absolutely love this one. Now, you know how walking around slowly sucks, right? Well, I mean, honestly, it does. So, Snap is kind of like a mini teleport to a target location. Now, it costs 1 Spirit Sphere if you're not in Fury, and it costs 14 SP regardless. So what this looks like, now, I don't have Fury up, right? Now, let's use Snap. You see you get an indicator, and you click. Now, this is the 5th time, see? Now I have no more spirit spheres. However, if we summon all of the spirit spheres again. There. And then we go into Fury. And then we summon another 5. 3, 4, 5. As you can see, I can snap as much as I want as long as I have SP. Now you have to click the button and then left click. This is a great way to travel. Mind you, it does cost a bit of SP, but if you have a high SP pool, it doesn't matter too much. But this is a really cool spell. You can do so many nice things with it. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Concentration potion is the only thing that's available to you as a monk. So, well. Now we're just gonna regenerate. I'm gonna show you a little bit of a cool trick you can do against ranged monsters and in PvP. Right, okay, you know Numa, right? Now, for example, for Numa, or whatever you want to call it, blocks all ranged attacks. Now, say that that's a ranged monster right there, but you're not sure how to deal with it. Now, what you can do is say you put Numa on yourself. Right, we need some more SP. I'll show you. So, you enter a room, there's tons of ranged monsters, whatever. So, you put up Numa. Now, the ranged monsters can't hit you, correct? You can only have one Numa up at a time, but what you can do is you do Numa and then... No wait, you can have 2, sorry. And then you snap into the new Numa, right? So, now we're a bit low on SP, but we could do the same thing again. And then snap into it. Because this way you won't really take damage from ranged. If you're really fast, I guess you can do it like you can travel like this. I was just showing you slowly to make sure you see what I'm doing. So that's basically all the utility spells as a monk. Now as an acolyte, you know you have your standard acolyte tree with teleport, Numa, increase, whatever your preference is. Now I'm gonna show you, like actively show you the other spells. So we're gonna go somewhere and we're gonna... Let's just use the butterfly wing. There we go. As you can see, there's tons of people here on the so-called dead server. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's just get a couple of this, and then we need some royal jellies. Oh, okay, right. I need to have something to give myself SP. Right. Okay, let's go to Orc Dungeon and I'll show you what these spells look like. Right, okay, so you see an Orc Warrior, right? So, when I start auto-attacking him, I'll get the yellow numbers over his head, and then I will click Raging Quadruple Blow for the first combo, and if he's still alive, I'll click Raging Thrust, okay? Okay. Apparently not. Maybe we need something with a little bit more health, something a bit sturdier. Yeah, they don't cut it. I'm sorry about that. Let's go somewhere else with more health. I know, let's go to Petite, for example. Petites are good. So... Now, I don't really have a mount, but I can cast Agility Up on myself. Fun fact, you can use Agility Up level 1 if you want the speed boost. You don't need to have it level 10. I have it level 5 because, well, I was resetting my skills and it just kind of happened. Now, you can do 1 Spirit Sphere and then you can... Now, once you turn into champion, later you'll be able to summon all 5 Spirit Spheres at the same time. Now, you can also use teleport if you want to, like, teleport randomly on the map. Where are we? Oh god, I'm so sorry. I have, like, the worst luck with teleports. Okay. Now, this time, unlike when I did the Night Guide, I actually have quite a bit of dex, so it shouldn't be a problem to hit them this time. So, we'll be going down here. Now, the Petites are, like, here to the west, so let's just see if we can... Right. Now, ideally, I should have gone here first, but we'll be alright. Now, these are, well, so what you do is you auto-attack, and then, so there we go, Raging Quadruple. Okay, I was too slow to use the second one, but you need to have the Spirit Spheres, because every time, now this is worth noting, every time you click one of these, it costs what? Oh god, no, wrong spell, no! Oh god. Oh, sorry, I need to reload. I'm so sorry about that. I clicked the wrong button. Anyway, let's try this again without me messing it up. It's just I'm used to having the others, like I'm used to different key bindings on my my own monk. So So we go into Fury, just because, well, I mean, fully self-buffed seems fine. Now let's try this again. There we go. That was both of them. So you have to pay attention. You can't like just AFK auto attack, and you shouldn't really hammer the buttons. You need to do it properly. Because if you hammer, I'm gonna show what happens if you try to hammer it. Now, if I'm just spamming one here, you can do it, but it's such a pain. Now you can't do like quadruple. You have to do them in order. See? So 1 2 1 2. Right. So that's the combo skills. Now let's try this throw spirit sphere. Okay? We have 2 here. Now what's the range on this? Oh god, that takes time. As you can see, yeah, I threw some spirit spheres. Now I only have it level 3, so I can only throw 3 at the same time. But I didn't even have 3, so let's try this again. Now if he hits me, I'll be interrupted. 1 2 3. See? It's pretty cool. Now let's use one of those egg seeds. Let's see here, what else do we have? Right, occult impaction. Okay, so let's see how much defense one of these have. See, not bad. You can level with this, but as I said, it costs spirit spheres, and you really should be spec'd for it if you want to level with these, right? So let's just kill these a bit fast. So the last one I'm gonna show you is Guillotine Fist, and then we'll round it up with Mental Strength. And, well, oh wait, there's Root as well. So you need to be in Fury status, and you need to have 5 Spirit Spheres, and then you can do Guillotine Fist. Now it looks pretty cool when you use it, but it takes forever to cast, okay? And then boom, it does tons of damage and empties your... And you get a debuff here. Guillotine Fist, for 5 seconds you cannot use any SP recovery at all, to make sure you don't spam this ability. Now, Guillotine Fist is another spec. Again, it's not for leveling. There, let's see if we have some SP. And I will show you what mental strength looks like. Now, it costs 200 SPs. We're gonna be needing some SP to be able to do this. As I said, you can have a shield on, but otherwise, I mean, you can auto attack just fine. Like the raging triple blow doesn't consume any SP. So what you could be doing if you feel late. Hello. It's one of our guildmates. Thank you. Right. Anyways, having said that, what you could do is, for example, you can auto attack these, and as you can see, it procs the raging trifecta blow quite a bit, so that's quite nice. If you don't have SP, you can always just auto attack. This is why attack speed is so essential. As you can see, it's pretty nice. Now, I mean, these aren't super high level, but now if we equip the Morning Star, we'll be a lot slower. And now the damage won't actually be higher, but it looks really stupid with the mace, see? I think the maces looks absolutely ridiculous. Because the animation is still made for Knuckles. See, you even have a knuckle here and everything. Looks cool. Okay. So we just need to get a bit more SP. So once we're at 200, we're gonna buff up, and I'm gonna show you. And then we're basically gonna use Mental Strength, and then we're just gonna run and gather tons. Well, not run, crawl rather. And I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Now we will die when it runs out, so that's fine. Now you can still use consumables like potions and whatnot. You can still be healed as well. But all damage taken is reduced by 90%, which is, well, 90% is 90%, so. Right, you see we have 207 SP. We need to get some Spirit Spheres going first. Now let's see, how much do we need here? Because Fury is 15, so we need 215 at the very... No, wait, we need more. 215 plus 5 times 8. Okay. So you need like 255 or whatever it is. Shouldn't take that long, since we have the awesome spiritual cadence. Well, anyways, having said that, while we're waiting, It's a really nice class both for soloing and, I mean, you could go the healer route, but I'm not sure why you would play a healing monk. But, right, okay. So, let's go into Fury. First I'm gonna show what one petite hits me for, right? Whenever that happens. Now mental strength has a long ass cast time, so we're not gonna be able to tank these while, unless you have like a clip or something. There, 350, right? So let's run away from them. And let's cast mental strength. It takes absolutely forever, but boom. There. Okay. We walk slower, but we walk like a brick wall. So let's just... I'm just gonna gather up as many as I can and see how... Now these are the same level as me, roughly. And I'm basically not wearing any gear at all, as you can see. Nothing amazing. Like, we could throw in a shield just for the sake of it. 31, 34... Now this is easily outputted. Now you can't really kill them very easily yourself. But if you have a friend, you can just, like, say you have a couple of Stella fruits, right? Now, this might be a bit of a problem to move. But as you can see, it's not really difficult to... and this is with only 14 vitality and no real tanking gear at all. Now, it's gonna last for another 40 seconds. So it's a pretty cool skill. Now if I had a wizard friend, they can just come over here and then just cast like Thunderstorm or Heaven's Drive or Meteor Storm or... I don't know, some other AoE spell. So this is basically the ins and outs of the monk. Now, you can't really cast anything, as you can see. I can't cast any spells. I can use consumables though, like, see? Now what it can do is once it runs out, it says undestructible, lol. Now, we just teleport away. So that is what the monk can do. For leveling though, I would recommend, like I said, the combo monk for leveling. Now, it doesn't have any real AoE, but neither do most of the pre-rebirth classes, to be very honest, with a few exceptions. Like I said, gear-wise, agility, strength, some vitality. Like, you can make use of most stats, except for luck. Luck doesn't really do much. I mean, yeah, you can crit a little bit, but it's just, you'd rather do your double or triple attacks over crits. If you want to go the tanking route, you could just go agility, vitality, honestly, just to be even tankier, so you can tank for your friends if you're playing with a party. But I think that's it, really, guys. Again, I will do a champion and then a Sura guide, but as I said, you know, the two ways I would level personally would be either the combos or the occult and the throw spirit spheres. Snap is amazing though. Like, definitely worth investing points into. For getting away, for traveling, whatever it might be. The range is pretty like... There, see? Okay, now we're out of SP. Anyways guys, that will be it for this guide. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you find it helpful. Now, there are many more to come. So, keep an eye out and I will see you in the next video. As always, if you enjoy what we're doing, let us know. If you have ideas, suggestions, criticism, whatever it might be, we're always up for a chat. Until then, you have a great one, and take care. And thanks for watching.